Hello and welcome to another episode of the KFace podcast. This is number 103. Yes, that's right, 103 of season 4, year 2, volume 1. My name is Geoff Ramsey. With me, as always, Gavin Free and Andrew Panton. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
I'm doing really well. This has been a fun week. I've enjoyed seeing all the anal passage things. I would need to. I would love to, because I don't have the same. I don't interact with Jack all that much. I watched the Rooster Teeth podcast, which Jack was on Monday, and it felt. I know it wasn't scripted, but the fact he wore that shirt felt scripted in the best way. But his reactions were so genuine that, like, there's no way that was done intentional.
No, I'll be honest with you. I was trying to pick my jaw up off the ground from the second he walked in to the studio, because the idea that he would wear the exact shirt during the middle of the joke about the shirt at honestly the only intersection in content where it would ever make sense was live in that moment. It was such serendipity. I immediately thought, nobody's gonna believe this. No, and it's such a shame nobody's gonna believe this, but holy shit, is this fortuitous? And but I think his cluelessness had to
did, because
it wasn't.
I was one of those people. Like, I didn't have the context of, like, if that would have been organized or whatever, I wouldn't have known. So when I first saw it, I thought, oh, that's funny. He's leaning into it. And then his reactions were so clear. And just in case we didn't set up properly, Jack was on the Rooster Teeth podcast with you guys on Monday, and he was wearing the annual pass shirt that we turned into an anal passage shirt based on what Gavin said. And he had zero idea that the shirt had been for sale for 4 or 5 days at that point.
I sat down next to him and I was like, oh my God. And I just was like, nice shirt. And then he was like, all right, what's going on with the shirt? And I was like, no way. He doesn't know?
Yeah, it eluded him through social media all weekend. So comment leavers, thank you for not spoiling it.
Yes.
And regulation listeners, well, you did your job beautifully as well.
I will say, there are some snitches though, and I saw you. Because I promoted it on the KFace Pod Twitter account, but I deleted it in 15 minutes. I tweeted about it with a link, retweeted it and liked it, and was like, I'm going to delete this in 15 minutes. And somebody immediately tagged him. I was like, trying to ruin this joke. So there are people, I see you trying to snitch on it. So no good to this. I'm taking notes. They might be on the list of 20,000. Keeping a list. I still got spaces to fill. But I was just so happy that came together.
We improbably sold over 100 of those things, which
that's wonderful.
So ridiculous.
That's great. Fantastic.
Oh man! So thank you to everybody who bought an anal passage shirt.
So that
you were a part of a hilarious joke that honestly, I think annoyed Jack. So
that's what I was about to ask.
Yeah.
Have you talked to Jack about the shirt? I assume he listens to the show that he would have heard by now.
He texted me. Well, Gavin and I were at dinner. Actually, Gavin and I went out to dinner the other night together with a bunch of old people who were really old and very old, and we were by far the coolest, youngest people there. And while I was at
you
dinner,
were like, please sit next to me.
That is 100% true. He just texted me and he said, "I'm counting those shirt sales to annual pass." So.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. Totally fair.
Official collab.
He was definitely, you can tell, because I've been doing it for so very many years, you can tell when you genuinely get under his skin. He's gotten a lot better at hiding it. He's built some armor up over the last 2 decades, but we definitely annoyed him.
It's
in all the best ways. All the best ways. And it's a great shirt.
It's fantastic. I also, speaking of texting people, so last episode we recorded, I introduced a game that we talked about. Guess Who Might Be Dead Too? Everyone's favorite game. I was so happy the next day to have a text from Gavin in which he said, what did he say? I wrote that quote. He said, in quotes, "Guess Who Might Be Dead Too may have been the greatest game I've ever played." I was very excited about that. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Well, I was laughing at it because I thought about it again afterwards. And then when I was proofing it, it made me laugh again. And I just like that you referred to the crucifixion as a real predicament.
I
And
don't
I
know.
thought that might be the
That's
most
fair.
understated use of the word predicament ever.
Is it not a predicament? It's not an ideal
is.
situation to be in.
It's like, yeah, it's the predicament that predicaments might be based off of, honestly.
It could be. It could be the first predicament. The origin of the word is there. But
the first predicament.
I want to see that in the table of contents of the Bible. The Last Supper, the first predicament, they go back to back.
The Last Supper leads into the first predicament.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That, oh, it was the calm before the predicament. You made me drool a little bit there. God damn.
I did. It's great. I'm glad we went down that road. I didn't expect to go there. But so I got that text from Gavin, and I thought, oh, I'm so glad that he enjoyed it. But the people at home, I'm sure they would want to play this amazing game. So I immediately reached out to the kind guy, Michael's Games Labs, who made that drop down Ian Head game, the knob drop thing, and we have a playable Guess Who Might Be Dead 2. It is an actual game. You can play it. I sourced movies. I had some friends source scenes for movies. He sourced movies. We have it's like 50 or so movies at this point. Let me know if you need a password to get into that.
I need one.
Okay, I will.
Yeah.
I will put the password in the chat so you guys can open this up and see it.
Were you going to play live on the podcast?
You can absolutely play
Or
live
is-
if you would like to. When people are listening, maybe we'll put a link to this game in the description of the show so that people can easily find it. And they will not need a password at this time. I was just trying to keep it hidden so it didn't somehow leak to you guys. But it is a full game. It is a playable game. And so just for context of how this game specifically works, it is the moment in which is being displayed. It's if the character dies in the movie later, but lives in that moment, it will be lives, even though they may die later. So it's specifically the context of the scene that is being displayed.
So should we play now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's see.
So you click play, and it tells you the movie as well as the year it released.
Is it the same for everyone? Is it random?
No, it's random. It's a randomly cycling thing of images.
Can I tell you the first one I got?
I would love to hear your first one.
It was the younglings in Star Wars.
That's a great one. I wish I
Tiny
could
Jedi.
I wish I could take credit for that one. That was the wonderful person who made the game.
I
Put
had
that
to
one
turn
in.
off the game because the music was too loud, but I can't wait to play that later.
It's
Oh.
fantastic. So that
Oh
was,
my God. Samuel Jackson in Deep Blue Sea. I think he lives. Oh, he does not. Play
No,
game.
that's like one of the most iconic death scenes of all time.
Live, die, live. Gremlins. Oh, Billy lives, of course. Oh no, the younglings. The other guys, Sam Jackson and the Independence Day lives. I guess he does die. Dude, that's awesome.
Who
Yeah,
dies
it's
in Independence Day?
Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid.
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah.
back, and he drives the whole thing, and it's a great scene. I love that movie.
Oh my God.
So that was one of my. I as soon as you texted me that, Gavin, I immediately thought, well, can I make this a game? I don't know how to make games, and I reached out to him, and he loved it, and he put that together so quickly. And over the last week, we've been just adding more movies to it, and I'm excited to see people play it and react to it.
So it's what's crazy to me is, given our day job and our association with the gaming industry, right? I had kind of, dog's coughing. I had kind of had an unofficial thought in my head that a rule in my head that one of the things we would never be. We might be a Bovril podcast for a while. We might be a fruit podcast, certainly an apple podcast, maybe not a banana podcast. Definitely we're a baseball podcast on occasion. We're certainly a beefy podcast. I never wanted to be a gaming podcast. But we might be a little bit in a way that I did not anticipate, which is we're a game creating podcast.
Well, I guess, yeah.
I love
we're
this direction.
not to give us any, we're like the Steve Jobs, but like way less talented. Like we give the direction. We have none of the skills. We can't take any of the credit. For
We're just we are just the turtleneck portion of Steve Jobs. Not even the full shirt. We're just the annoying part that goes around the neck that keeps it warmer than a neck needs to be in a climate-controlled environment. But here we are. That's us. We're providing useless warmth while more talented people create the games.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I don't know. It's funny that you didn't think of us as ever being a gaming podcast. Not in a traditional sense, but games is just such a big part of at least my life. I'm surprised.
I guess so.
They don't come up as much. You're Gems of War guy. Come on. Or at least you used to be. I'm assuming
I'm still a Gems of War guy, but I'm certainly not talking about it on the podcast.
Can you imagine a Gems of War podcast every week?
I cannot. It would be. It would be. I don't know who would be more torturous for the 3 people that listen to it or the person who has to do it. Oh man, that'll be when I hit rock bottom. I'll do a Gems of War podcast.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, I'm excited. I don't even know what that would look like.
I don't either.
Yeah, I wonder how long you could talk for before you would just have nothing to say.
I'll tell you what. I rarely listen to this podcast, but I listen to myself talk ad nauseum without taking a breath for the first 14 fucking minutes of last episode, just talking about baseballs in a store issue. So I could probably go for a while. I had to have Nick. I said 14. You guys only had to listen to 11 minutes because I made Nick cut it down. But I wish we would have cut it down even more.
Oh, you're talking to the audience?
To the audience, yeah.
Yeah, I listened to the pre-Dennis version.
Jesus Christ. So I could probably talk about Gems of War for a couple days. Oh, man. Speaking of talking about stuff,
what?
That doesn't need a segue.
What?
Yeah, that's a great segue. Speaking of talking about stuff, I have not had a lot prepared for this podcast for the last few weeks, outside of the tattoo, which was kind of a visual gag. And I've been feeling kind of bad about it. And whenever that happens, typically I go and I'll just devote like a day or 2 days to just like brainstorming and trying to come up with shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been so busy with other creative work the last couple weeks for the company, pitching some shows to the Achievement Hunter guys and some other stuff going on. And I just haven't been able to devote the time to it. And so I realized after lunch today, after I ran some errands, I was like, oh shit, I've got to do a podcast with these guys in 2 hours. And I haven't really contributed to anything in 2 weeks. I better get my shit together. What do I do? So I thought, I'm going to get on my bicycle because that's where I have my best ideas. And I'm just going to ride around and I'm just going to come up with ideas on my bicycle. And then I'll have a bunch of ideas. And so I did that. And so I have on my phone a bunch of notes of thoughts I had while riding my bicycle trying to come up with ideas for this podcast today. If you guys want to
How many thoughts did you have?
Let me hold on. Let me look it up here.
How long did you ride?
I rode for 1 hour.
Okay.
It was about 10.9 miles is what I rode.
I bet you had 6 thoughts.
I was thinking the same.
I had 6 thoughts.
A thought every 10 minutes. Yeah, it's a good average.
Yeah.
Yeah. First thought, wouldn't it be fun if we all had a contest to see if we could work out one muscle and then see if you could get inordinately big in that, like your right calf or like your left bicep? Kind of like that character in that, Lady in the Water movie who had the big one big strong arm, or like all the German people who do arm wrestling that only work out their one
like the Charger
arm. Yeah. Or like a Charger from Left 4 Dead.
Go back to gaming. Yeah.
That's
giant
a
arm.
great example. But it doesn't have to be an arm.
Do one ab.
Yeah, like could you do an ab? Could you do like, I just want to have the world's strongest neck, you know? I'm just going to do neck exercises. Or like, I want a big juicy booty, but everything else looks exactly as it does now, so I'm just going to do squats.
Andrew should do ankles.
Yeah, Andrew should absolutely do ankle exercises. Like you should have like Arnold Schwarzenegger ankles.
I am going a different direction with it. I would love to have an absurdly strong pinky. Just something that doesn't need to be, but I could, like, it'd be a weird flex if the pinky was jacked. I don't think I've ever seen a jacked finger before. I don't know if that's even possible.
I'm sure if you worked at it out enough, you could jack your finger pretty hard.
Isn't it mostly tendons, though, instead of your bog standard muscles?
How much do you think I could lift with just my pinky currently?
Well, I think you should test the force that it would take to pull it out of the socket, and then slightly less than that.
How do I test that?
I don't know.
Huh.
Well,
I'll
do it
just
on
try
your
to listen
off
to it.
pinky because you might not be able to use it anymore. You don't want to do that to your good pinky.
I don't think I need my pinky, really. I think the pinky is an overrated finger. I don't think it's rated that highly.
You think a
What else
pinky
you
is
gonna-
superfluous?
What are you going to balance your phone on without a pinky?
You would work around. Let's say, okay, if there was like an NFL
What about when
draft,
you drink? What about when you drink tea?
Yeah.
I hate. My pinky always goes up, and I hate it. It happens. I hate that it always. I have to catch myself. Be drinking a glass of water, pinky up. Just always happens. So I'd be okay if I lost my pinkies. I think if there was like an NFL style draft, 7 rounds, and people picked body parts, I think the pinky is like the punter of the body. Like it's a 7th round pick. You probably need
you would
it.
pick that before you'd like pick your appendix before your pinky.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. I don't fully understand what my appendix does. I know what my pinky is capable of doing. I don't think I need it.
Your appendix. There's like a 40% chance that at some point in your life your appendix will try to kill you.
Yes.
Your pinky will never harm you.
Whenever I've spent most of my life, whenever I'd hear the term appendix bursting, in my head it was always like a chest burster that it would explode like a grenade.
Yeah, I assume that's correct.
I don't think it is.
Have you ever had your appendix out?
I have not, but in terms, like I'm saying, visually in my head, it was like skin exploding.
It could be, Andrew. Here's the problem. When everybody's tummy hurts, they go to the doctor and they get their appendix removed. You never hear about people whose appendix explode because they put the pin in the grenade before the detonation. But for all we know, that could be why it's such a big goddamn deal to get somebody to the hospital. Because what if it's like, it's so dangerous that if you were in the proximity of somebody's tummy, you could get shrapnel. Like we might have a whole, like it might be a whole thing because it's so goddamn dangerous that people take it so seriously.
There's
That's
a
fair.
scene in Ambulance involving a spleen that you'd probably enjoy.
I need to see it. It's on streaming now. I need to rent
Is it really
I can
already?
watch from home. Yeah. It's already like you can pay to rent it. I need to do that. I really think I was thinking what else I don't respect. Wisdom teeth probably don't need, but I view those as like spare tires. So I guess I would take those over the pinky. I really think the pinky would be the last thing I would take.
You would rather remove something you only have 10 of than something you have 32 of?
Yeah, because I just don't. Maybe I will try a week where I don't use my pinkies at all and just see what that's like.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm not
Combine that
respecting
with,
the pinky potentially.
Shopping from the end caps as well.
Yeah, no pinky end cap week.
Okay, I could do that.
Here's my second idea.
I forgot.
So I was writing down, mostly through neighborhoods, but I was looking for stuff to be inspired by. But pretty much all I saw was well, you'll see. Pretty much all I saw was houses and shit, right? So I got to thinking about reality TV and where we would make the best impact as a reality TV show. And then it hit me, we should flip houses together. Like,
Why?
what if we were the Property Brothers?
Okay.
Or the Flipper Flops, or like I'm Christine on the coast and you're her ex-husband, or whatever. I would like to see us with a tool belts doing some damage, fixing some shit up, making some dreams come true. That was all. That was my
I would
whole
like
thought.
to build, because Andrew seems to bend his life to fit him as much as possible, like putting Keurigs in the bedroom and putting cereal in the toilet or whatever you do.
What?
I would love to build a house from scratch that is exactly to your specifications.
Yes. It'd be sort of like like Andrew's version of the house of the future. Like you would see like in the 40s and the 50s, they would build those model homes with all the like near future technology that was going to make your life so much easier. And it was all bullshit. Like I would love to see that like if Andrew designed a home from the ground up to be the perfect future proof Andrew home.
It's so funny you say that because I had this thought literally the other day where I was wishing that there was something, I think it was, I don't even remember what it was. It may have been my washing machine. I was like, why do I have to go to a different room just for that? Like, that would be so handy. It should be in my closet. So, like, when I change clothes, I immediately just put the old clothes in to be washed. And then I realized that if I built things under that vision, I would have an entire empty space of nothing. everything would be in one space, and then the rest of the entire house would just be empty. That's a shit house. I think it's a terrible idea. I don't even think my vision is good. Like I would be miserable. I just have so much wasted space.
I thought something similar. I was like, why aren't all kitchen cabinets dishwashers? Like you could just move shit between them.
Absolutely.
It's funny you say that because another I can't take credit for this. This is from another comedy podcast that I heard months and months ago, but it's been sticking in my head the whole time. Somebody said, why not have 2 dishwashers?
Yeah. Some people do that and they just move stuff from one to the other.
Yeah, you just move stuff from one to the other and then you never, it's a perfect cycle, right? It makes so much sense. We should absolutely, I wish I had 2.
That's a great
pretty
point.
pricey way to not use kitchen cabinets though.
Pretty pricey way.
And then also a waste of cabinets.
This is the problem. If you and I design houses, it's funny because it was right before we recorded. I put this in my notes. I had this for a while. This is a friend of mine's door. And I was going to ask you, Gavin, if this is like an overseas thing or if this is just like if we made a house, how this worked. Look at these doors. One is way too large and the other one is too big and it just makes me uncomfortable.
Why is the handle 80% up the door?
I don't know.
It's at chest level.
I don't like that's so high up. Like that's a long door. I feel like that is
no sense of scale. Like that looks like a really tall. What is that? Like an Australian plug? Where is this? What's going on?
New Zealand. It's a New Zealand home. But I didn't know.
What's in the little demon cubby up top?
It just goes to the top of the house. There's no like it's just the construction of it. It's just like wooden shit.
Space?
It's like a crawl space, but not at all developed. I don't know why that door.
That's where the Babadook lives.
It does. That's what I felt. I felt like it was a demon door, but also it's just the other door is way too long. Like I feel like that would be us. We just don't know how to measure things.
I love this. This is the perfect location for a Jackie Chan chase to end up because you know he would come flying through the bottom one and he'd flip around and go straight through the top one and close it. And the people behind him would be like, where'd he go?
Oh, he would grab the top of it and like swing in with his legs like he'd kick out. Like I could see it so clearly.
That's perfect.
Oh, that is a Jackie Chan door. Do you think Jackie Chan just has those size doors in his home to escape from people? Gets into an argument with someone, there's no following him. I couldn't, if you were a storm chaser like me, I could not pursue Jackie Chan if he had doors like that.
Oh God, there's no way.
It'd be preventative.
What, you gotta go get a stepladder?
His house must be a labyrinth of like ladders and slides. And
like that Winchester
fireman poles. Yeah, it's like that. That's oh, that's good.
I think if I was to build you a house, Andrew, my first modification to like making it not like a normal house is that the floor of the bedroom would be a lift, and you would be able to descend or.
Yes,
you'd be able to go to any floor via the bed. If you want to wake up in the kitchen,
elevator. Yes, the bed is the elevator.
Yeah,
that's
and your
amazing.
alarm could be like it just drops a little, scares the shit out of you, wakes you up, and then you go into the kitchen. You lean over. You've got your noodles or whatever your chow mein.
I love the idea of there being a 2 one-story house. Like, you think it's a 1-story house and literally an entire floor elevates to make it a 2-story house.
And then you're just down in the kitchen and people are like, why is there this big open square where there's nothing inside? And you're like, don't worry about it. That's where the bed comes down.
I want a house like the building in Control. You know how like rooms are constantly shifting? Like that would be ideal. That'd be fun. My bedroom is in the front of the home suddenly. I don't know where my bathroom is. It's on a different level now. Constant shift.
Oh, Christ.
So what's idea 3, Geoff?
Oh, sure. Remember, I was driving through neighborhoods looking at houses because it was all that was around and I was trying to be safe. You guys know what I think must work really well? Political signs. You ever notice how you see political signs everywhere in people's yards, all out front, like at a busy intersection, anywhere there's a grass, a little plot of land, there's 400 political signs, and they say like, well, I saw one today that said, vote for Prop A. I have no idea if Prop A is good or bad. I'm not keeping up right now. But that got me thinking, if we're trying to get the word out, what better way than we make political signs for face that are like vote for Prop F.
Yeah.
It's like face, and
That's
then
a
people
great
can put
idea.
them in their yard all over America, and they're like, and on, like when you drive by the church on voting on Tuesday morning, and it's like all the vote here, vote a key signs, and there's all the different like props, and vote for this person, and all the this person for mayor, this person for county commissioner, railroad commissioner, governor, whatever, and then there's just like a bunch of vote for Prop F.
People will be wandering around thinking, realizing, well, I see a very strong correlation between people who want Prop F and people who really don't want you to scrump. There seems to be such a heavy relationship. I wonder what's going on
That could
there.
be Prop F. It could be like more stringent scrumping rules.
Oh, you think
Prop F.
you think that, or do you think it's like decriminalizing scrumping?
Yeah, decriminalizing scrumping. Yeah, free apples, free people. Yeah, there you go.
I always feel so
Free
dumb
fruit,
when I read.
free world. Free Vote yes on Prop F.
I always feel so stupid when I see something a lot and I don't know what it stands for or what it means, like the Prop A stuff. And for a while in Austin, I saw so many signs that said "Stop the PUD," and I don't know what PUD is or what I don't know if they stopped it. It just always annoys me when I see an abbreviation or like an acronym so many times without ever being. I'm always too lazy to Google it, and I never figure out what it is just by thinking about it. Like the other day, I was looking at some baseball stuff, and I couldn't figure out what RBI stood for, and it was just annoying the shit out of me. I was like, why is that not obvious to me what that is? And I
Runs
still don't know
batted
that.
in.
Okay.
RBI. It's how many points you scored, like you personally.
Why didn't it just say points?
Because they're called runs.
No. Why didn't it just say runs?
Yeah, runs batted in. Like how many runs? like if you're on first base and I'm batting, we're on the same team, and I hit a home run, then I just got 2 RBIs. I got 2 runs batted in, and they count against the pitcher and they count for us.
Okay, I didn't know how that worked. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I was well, so does the person? So it's like a stat against pitchers then, not.
What's a stat against pitchers, and it's a stat for. Well,
If I'm on first base, do I get anything for that?
Yeah, you get a run scored.
Okay, I got it, but I don't get an RBI because I didn't.
You didn't
I wasn't
bat the
holding a
run
bat.
in. You scored.
Got it.
Yeah, so it
Okay.
counts as a run scored, and then 2 RBIs for the batter.
So if you're on first, why wouldn't it be called RRI?
Runs run in.
Runs run in.
Runs ran in. Well, let's petition for that change to be made.
That'll be in
And
Prop
then,
F.
That'd be in
Prop
Prop
F.
F. That's the Prop F subsection 1A.
Yeah, that's the sneaky
change
thing
runs-
we add.
to change it to runs ran in. Yeah.
What's the name of that symbol you always see in legal stuff? Like the squiggly like S with a circle in the middle of it?
I don't know.
Squiggly S with a circle in it. I
Never known what
immediately
that symbol
thought to
is.
like the logo of the Young and the Restless when you said that. I know that's not accurate, but like that squiggly like thing, that's where my brain immediately went. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh
I'll try and
man.
post it.
Is that just a Y and an R, the squiggly Young and Restless thing? That's the thing that like I can see in my head. I don't know what that is. I don't think that's a character. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
Young and Restless squiggly. Squiggly Leonard.
This is not where I thought political signs would take
Oh,
us.
this is here. I'll just post this. This is absolutely what I was thinking of when you said the squiggle. It is just a Y and an R. I've never really paid attention to what it is, but it's just a bunch of squiggly lines in my head.
Oh yeah, it's the YR. Yeah, young and
It's the
Restless.
YR.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of squiggly. I don't think
All
that's
right.
on court documents.
I looked up my squiggle and it means section.
Section. Okay.
Can you show what the squiggle looks like? Can I see what the squiggle is? I don't think I even know what
It's
you're
above
talking.
yours.
What do you mean?
Yeah, he texted it. It's in the Discord chat.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I've never seen that in my life.
Oh, we should make, what is it called again? Section? We should make section shirts. We should all get section tattoos.
This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Life can be overwhelming and many people are burned out without even knowing it. Symptoms can include lack of motivation, feeling helpless or trapped, detachment, fatigue, and more. I know with my burnout, it's typically feelings of being very detached and overwhelmed and just a general struggle to accomplish tasks that typically aren't that difficult for me, or just feeling pressure for not being able to do things that I'd like to do, but I just am so maxed out that I have to kind of disconnect from a lot of things I may not necessarily want to. We associate burnout with work, but that's not the only cause. Any of our roles in life can lead us to feeling burnt out, and BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to prioritize yourself. Talking with someone can help you figure out what's causing stress in your life. Therapy is something that has been super helpful to me, being able to talk with somebody about things that are stressing me out or just challenges that I'm facing at that time. Sometimes it can uncover things that I didn't realize were bothering me in the way that they were. And just being able to have those conversations in a safe environment has been such an incredible tool to have in my life. Therapy has made a tremendous difference in my day-to-day, something I've talked about quite a bit recording these ads. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Face listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/face. That's betterhelp.com/face. What's holding you back from the ultimate gaming experience? Is it the hundreds of dollars it costs for your setup? Or are you the busy on the go type with only minutes to spare? Level up your game with Backbone, the universal gaming essential that lets you instantly play hundreds of console games on your iPhone, no console required. Backbone is the newest game-changing essential that transforms your iPhone into a handheld console so you can play anywhere, anytime. Simply plug in your iPhone to the Backbone and enjoy console-quality controls with responsive buttons and triggers, clickable analog sticks, and more as you play Xbox, PlayStation, PC, and App Store games. I play Halo Infinite every week. Being able to take it on the go with a console-like experience is incredible. If you don't own a console, no problem. Stream hundreds of games like FIFA, Halo, Minecraft, and more through cloud gaming services like Xbox Game Pass, NVIDIA GeForce Now, and Google Stadia. And even if you already have a PlayStation, Xbox, or PC, play games you own with Remote Play or the Steam Link app. Experience for yourself what TechCrunch calls the closest we've ever seen to a portable Xbox. Go to playbackbone.com/face now to order your Backbone until June 30th and get free access to over 350 console games and perks, including 1 month free of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, 1 month free of Apple Arcade, 2 months free of Google Stadia Pro, and 3 months free of Discord Nitro. Find your next adventure at playbackbone.com/face. If you're a current smoker who's struggling with quitting or past smoker who remembers what sucked about the process, you've got to check out Fume. Fume is the natural inhaler designed for a better, safer, and natural way to quit cigarettes. It's a no smoke, no vape, and no nicotine replacement for the hand-to-mouth habit of smoking. Fume handcrafts wooden inhalers and uses cores infused with plant oil studied to curb cravings. They have flavors like peppermint and conquer with minty, notes to simulate menthol cigarettes, and other flavors like cozy chai and lemon berry bliss for a sweeter experience. And all of their flavors are 100% natural. No harmful chemicals, no artificial flavors, and absolutely no nicotine. Quitting is tough, but Fume really can help. They've got thousands of 5-star reviews from smokers who have tried everything else, and this worked. Another amazing thing about Fume is if you're someone who flies all the time, especially now that things are starting to open up again, being able to use Fume in the air and the airport is a huge difference maker. Whether you're a smoker or ex-smoker who still struggles with cravings, Fume is the perfect tool for you. Head to breathefume.com/face and use promo code FACE to save 10% off your entire order. That's 10% off your entire order when you head to breathefum.com/face and use code FACE. So what's the next idea, Geoff?
Well, building off of that, and this isn't anything I saw. I saw with my brain eye. So I guess internally I saw it. But that got me thinking about getting the word out about Prop F and just about creative ways to get the word out. And please remember, I was in a neighborhood while I was looking at where houses and trees, and that got me thinking about trees and how we could use trees more to our benefit. And then that got me thinking about like 20 years ago in Germany when they realized that fucking Hitler, like in the 40s, planted a bunch of trees in a forest in a swastika pattern. So like 40 years later, when they bloomed and they came in the fall, you see a bunch of swastikas in the landscape from aerial views. And that got me thinking, we should make giant Ian tree sculptures in forests that you can only see from above and you won't be able to see for 50 years.
I need to vote against Prop F now. Probably less of the Nazi-inspired aerial art.
I don't. Why did
No,
you
I'm not
do
into
that?
I don't.
Why
that-
did you make that connection? You could have just explained it without tying it to Hitler. Why would you
that's
do
where
it that way?
That's where I got the idea. Well, I got the idea from Reddit, but that's where I saw it posted.
No, you can't. We can't, Jeff. We can't do an idea that was from Hitler. We can't say inspired by with Hitler. That's terrible.
No, I'm not saying it was. No, you're right about that. I don't want to say.
You just did. That's
You know,
literally
when,
how you
a
set that up.
musician plagiarizes another artist and then like retroactively gives the writing credit to the original.
I don't want to give any credit to Nazis. I just think it would be cool to make a tree to make some sort of a design
Why would you
in the
describe it
trees.
that way?
I don't know.
We can't do it. It is a cool idea, but we
the
can't
idea
do
is
it
fine
now.
if you didn't preface it with all the other stuff.
You
But
could've
look, the
just said,
Nazis
"Don't
are
be cool."
bad. I did not like we're
Nobody's saying they're not. I don't
we're
know
an anti-Nazi.
What are you
we're
doing?
anti-Nazi on
Very,
this podcast.
and
I'm gonna come
nobody's
out and say it.
questioning that. Nobody's
It's true.
saying. It's just why did you do that?
Well, that's
This
where
is-
that's what made me think of it. It was like,
You are
oh, those
the-
assholes. Because
I love
they used trees for the power of bad, and I want to take it back and use trees for the power of good.
To be fair, they probably took that idea from someone else.
Yeah, they don't invent shit. They stole shit, right?
Almost certainly, just a weird comparable. Like it reminds me of when you did the coin thing with the coin. Imagine the coin. Like you could have just said what it was. You didn't need to give context to where the idea may have come from.
I think context is always important.
I do, not for that. That was a mistake.
Just so we're clear, it would be an Ian logo or
Yeah,
the face logo.
That is not the thing that was the problem. We all get it. The Ian logo's great. Just sourcing it to... It's terrible. It's terrible.
I'm sensing a
Why would
pattern
you
here
do
with
that?
Jeff's writing thoughts. I'm gonna guess that thought number 5 was about a road, and
Yeah.
thought number 6 was about the sky. And then I think there's all out of ideas.
So no, thought number 5. Thought number 5 was building off of the Ian trees, which I think are a great idea.
No.
That got me thinking about other ways of non-traditionally promoting things from aerial views. And that got me thinking, if we owned a farm, like a corn or a wheat farm, I don't have one, but maybe we
Unifarm?
could pool our money together and get one. Unifarm, there you go. We could do crop circles. We could do, I bet no one has ever done an Ian crop circle before.
crop Ian?
Yeah. Like you can only see it from a low-lying plane. Oh, from a low-flying plane, which we
You want
know.
to credit Genghis Khan with the creation of the crop circle? Like, how do you want to lead into this crop circle concept? So
Well,
can do it?
I didn't get to it through Genghis Khan. I got to the crop circle through the Ian trees, which I got to from the swastika thing. So
Jesus
if
Christ.
you want me to follow it all the way back, I can. But Genghis Khan was never a part of that. It came from the tree idea. I had the number 4 on the bullet list. Anyway, I think a giant Ian crop circle would be quite fun to make and could be very clever.
Yeah,
As
do
long
we
as-
rent someone's crops?
Yeah. Do you have crops? Are you a regulation listener or a comment leaver in possession of a large field of crop? Would you mind if we came in the middle of the night while you're asleep and pretended to be aliens with a long board on some string, and we flatten just a little of your crops, and to make a standard head, ears where they go, nose up top. That's all we got to do.
That's where they go. Is that how they do it, with a plank?
yeah,
yeah.
that's one of the ways to do it for sure.
Yeah, there's a couple different ways.
I
feel
was
like-
just imagining we'd make a big stamp, just lower it down.
Yeah, I like that method, or like a Zamboni like machine for crop circles.
And then my
Call it the
final,
Zamboni.
my Zamboni.
It's great.
My final idea has nothing to do with crop circles or trees or planting any of that stuff. Honestly, it was actually my first idea, but I pushed it to the last because I thought it was the weakest, and I wasn't sure we'd get through them all. But my first one was just an observation that my notes are a mess, just an absolute mess. Gavin showed me his face notes the other night at dinner when we were at dinner with all those old people, and his notes are, first off, many. He has hundreds of notes. And they all seem to make total sense. My notes, like, and they're all sectioned to face. My notes are like, it'll go like face note, the dimensions of a dresser, shopping list for Lowe's, face note,
You have one
ideas
big
for
note for everything.
ideas for a Minecraft series,
Come
Millie's
on.
social security number,
No.
the phone number that I need to remember for the chiropractor. It's just like, and then face note some. And as I was even writing these notes, I was looking at them and I was reminded, oh, well, here's your first note, buddy. You suck at notes. And then, you should bring up how Gavin has really, really lovely notes.
I mean, they're at least all organized, but it doesn't help me remember what they mean. Like, I would say 50% of them have been mentioned, and the other 50, I wrote them down and lost the connection with what they actually mean.
Pull some up. See if we can figure it out.
Decipher it.
I recently got a new printer because here's my goal in life is to have a printer, right? That if you leave it for 2 weeks or more and then try to use it again, it prints. That would be a great idea for a
That'd be
printer.
revolutionary.
I wish there was one that did that. But I got a new printer that has AirPrint.
What is AirPrint?
You just print from an iPhone, just without having to install anything or that.
How does that work so far?
It's worked once. I tested it by printing my face note. And when you see all that stuff printed onto paper and it's physically in front of you on several pages, it looks like the ramblings of a freaking lunatic. Let's see if we can decipher some of these, because I can't remember what I've talked about and what I've forgotten.
By the way, as you're looking, can I just say, you hit on one of the greatest frustrations of my life, which is the fact that it's 2022 and a printer technology still exists somewhere in 2006.
Yeah. They're
Yeah,
terrible.
If I'm
I don't
not
even wanna
making
print anything.
if I look at my printer and then look away and look back, it stops working. Like my printer requires eye contact. It's such fucking bullshit. And Millie needs to print something once a month, and every time I have to end up unplugging the printer, which is like shoved into one of my shelves. So I got to like rip it out of the shelf and unplug it for a while and plug it back in, and then put it in, and then maybe it'll work. But I might have to unplug it as many as 3 times just to get it to do the one thing that it's supposed to do. Sorry, it is one of my biggest pet peeves.
It's like quantum rules involved that we don't understand, that observing it sort of affects how it performs. French lifeguard mad that I didn't interrupt him.
French lifeguard.
Okay. Well, when were you last near a lifeguard?
I don't know.
When were you last in France?
It doesn't
10,
he doesn't necessarily
12.
have to be in France. Could be
A Hitman game where you just have to place 47's shit.
Oh, I think I can kind of decipher that.
Flowers could have been manly. I'm sure that was just like a tradition thing where it's just like there's probably a universe where flowers are like a real bloke thing.
Yeah,
And women don't like
dudes. Yeah.
And it's just, but someone at some point decided flowers were more feminine classically, and then that stuck.
I like the idea of incorporating sneaker culture to flowers. Being like, you see those fucking roses? Holy shit.
Somebody coming over to hang out with Meg and like, where's Gavin? I thought he was home today. And she's like, he's in the garage playing with his tulips.
I finally understand the geographical importance of moving from Philly to Beverly Hills. I think that was when
Is that a Fresh Prince?
Yeah, I was like, I think I was just like one-wheeling around, and I was like, oh, that's actually quite a big move. That's like thousands of miles. But as living as a kid in England and not understanding that those two places could actually be far apart, because my country's very small in comparison, you can just drive anywhere in a day. It suddenly just hit me as I was like bopping along to it in my head. I was like, oh, damn, that's far.
Well, it's also
switching countries.
Socioeconomically very far away, too. Was
like
he was in
culture,
West
the culture.
Philadelphia, which was sort of a roughshod neighborhood at the time.
And all of the information is provided in the intro of the show.
Oh, yeah.
I just never picked up on all those cues of like, oh, that's the concept of this show.
Was the song too good for you to understand the premise of it? Like, it's a rare case where the intro song was too, like, you're just like, this is a fucking banger.
I think it's one of those things where you hear it as a kid and you know the words, but you don't listen to the words. It's
Yes.
kind of like the problem I had with A Galaxy Far, Far Away. It's like it'd gone in, but I'd never listened to it.
Yeah.
And I never watched The Fresh Prince. I just knew the intro. So I also didn't get those clues from watching the show.
I see.
Do you Do you have ever, or like maybe when you were a kid, when you were in England around English people who speak with English accents, do you ever listen to like American music or like say like that song and have trouble understanding the words because of American accents?
No, because I grew up watching American TV, so it's
I
pretty
guess so.
burned in.
Kind of desensitizes
culture is
you.
so prevalent.
Yeah, I grew up on, Sabrina the Teenage Witch and Kenan and Kel, so pretty...
The Keenan streak continues.
I was just in
like the 10th mention of Kenan and Kel.
God damn. I was just in London for a week, and I'd say about 15% of the British people I still can't understand.
Oh, really?
Just walking down the street.
That's interesting.
You'll hear some people talking, and you're like, whoa.
That's funny. Yeah,
Can you do an impression?
Yeah, it's like the impression the one I used to use to make fun of Dan. It's like that. I don't know if I'm up for it right now.
I remember it well.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a fun idea one day, and I added a few spaces after episode 100 came out, so I'm now on like a separate set of notes below that. But I thought it'd be really fun to one day just print the list and like give it to charity or something, or like auction it for sign it and auction it for Extra Life or something, because it's just bizarre ramblings, and even I don't know what they are.
That's fantastic.
What if you print out 100? We'll staple them. Print out. How many pages is it?
It was up to episode 100. It was 4 pages of normal.
All right, so
letters.
we'll print 100 of each. Then we'll staple them, and then we'll hit them all with baseball bats.
It's like a notary.
We're gonna notarize them to make them official.
Notarized ramblings.
I can hit it with the gold foil Ian stamp.
Do you have a list, Andrew, that's constantly being added to, or are you just like separate notes sort of guy?
I delete, so I write a bunch of things. If I have a bigger thing I've planned, that's just sort of in my head. But when I sit down typically the night before and write down all the ideas that I remember talking about, put them in a list, and then I'll delete them as we talk about them as we record. So I don't have an ongoing list. I should.
Huh.
I regret not having that. It'd be interesting to go back and see like where different things were, or sometimes, like you'll have a thing on a list that you plan on using and then it just doesn't come up. So it'll just be on there for multiple weeks.
Right.
Yeah, I delete and go. I will say I love I'm going back to one of the concept we didn't decipher, the Hitman thing. I think what that is in Hitman, you have unlimited inventory for certain items. And the premise of like, after he's done a job, he has 27 bottles of vodka in his suit, 6 rubber ducks, 9 knives. Like, I think that might be like the absurdity of those games where like when you finish, if you think about the weight of those items and just trying to maneuver with them, it's hilarious. It's a very funny premise.
I think it was just that you can have a weapon stash, and that you'll go into like a bathroom or like a stock room, and there'll be a freaking giant sniper rifle in there or something. And it'll be an interesting part of the game to have to be the person who either goes ahead of 47 or who clears up after him. Would be like a funny concept for DLC or something like that. Because in the older games, if you left stuff behind, if you left like your suit, it would cost you, because they'd have to send people in to go and pick it up. Or if you left the weapon on the floor. Yeah.
So basically be like the Hitman cleanup crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
like
a great
that.
idea.
You just go in with a mop.
I was just thinking more like the reverse side of that, of, like the concept of coming home from work and like getting out of your work clothes, like 47 having to do that and pull the 7 ducks he has in his pocket out. Like just the annoyance of like what his work brings.
Yeah.
Just
6
the
muffins.
hassle.
A
Yeah.
fish.
5 burgers. Like it's just the most
7
random
hammers.
dumb stuff. It'd be heavy.
That'd be a funny, if I use TikTok or something, that'd be a funny, just it'd be like dressed as 47 walking into a room and just like throwing stuff on the floor or on the bed.
It's like a VR game in my head of like you have to lift up your jacket and just like physically remove all of the shit that you brought with you.
That'd be a funny little short to film of like him, wife like in bed in like a king size bed with like fluffy pillows everywhere and like a floral print duvet, and she's like reading a Better Housekeeping or like a Vogue magazine or like a copy of the New Yorker, and then her husband comes in and he's like taking his tie off, and she's like, long day, and he's like, the usual, and then he just starts emptying his pockets on the coffee on like the dresser, And it's just like watch, pin, billfold, some paper clips, Then it's like the little like piano wire that you slit throats with, and then the ducks, and then a sniper rifle, and it just keeps piling up.
19 key cards.
Yeah.
I would love to submit that to Matt Bragg for like a challenge accepted, like a weird episode where you just have to like walk into the bank level of Hitman 2 or something, pick up as much shit as possible, and then see if you can hold all that stuff in real life on your person.
Then I like that it plays, you always hear about with women's clothes, their lack of pockets, like the obnoxious thing that he has so many fucking pockets.
Well, that was what I was trying to solve with the wrist pocket, right? Was to add a pocket on the body because women's clothes are bullshit. We actually did something similar to this, Gavin, way back in the early aughts, probably around 2009, 2010. For Immersion, that series we used to do where we attempted, then you did it after I stopped. You did the next iteration of it where you try video game principles in real life to see how they work. And we had all of the weapons you would carry with you in Doom that you had to carry on your body and see how you could traverse the battlefield.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the one with an explosion in it?
Yeah, I think so. I think it had an explosion, and we had like 80 pounds or like 800 pounds of guns around our necks.
And you were locked in a car laughing at Jack.
Oh, that was the same day. Yeah, you mentioned that. We mentioned that on the annual Anal Passage podcast that we did on Monday. Yeah. Oh man.
At dinner the other night, Jeff and I were talking about face. Jeff was like, "Yeah, I think we're done with the Bovril phase. I wonder what the next phase will be." And I was just about to say, "Oh, I've got a pretty good invention," and Jeff was like, "I think I'm done inventing shit." I was like, "Oh."
I did. I said, I think I'm going to take a break from inventing stuff for a while. I don't want that to get too old. And Gavin goes, well, I just about to say I've created the next Nice to Treat You, and was pretty.
No, but it's something I can hold on to until enough people have new inventions for the next round of Unifarm pitching.
Oh, I like that idea.
Got something in the bag.
Okay.
But, it's not a standalone thing. It wouldn't hold up on its own. But if there were 2 other inventions to dampen the blow, I'm sure it could work.
Take some extra notes so that 6 months from now, when we get back to it, you recognize what it is.
Oh, that's a good point. I don't think I've written that one down.
Speaking of Bovril, the day we recorded last week, those popsicles took the life out of me. I was a full zombie afterwards. I don't really remember the episode we recorded afterward. I was drained. I was just physically exhausted for the whole day. And I'm like, I can never have Bovril again. I need to take a break from that. Salad cream is ruined. Pancakes are on the bench right now as well. And I was just like, oh, this is terrible. And I went to my mailbox and I opened my mailbox and there was a package waiting for me. And I was so excited for a brief moment. And then I realized it's the Bovril that Gavin sent. So now I have 2 full bottles of Bovril that I have no idea what I'm going to do with.
Well, I can tell you what you're going to do with them. You're going to spread one on toast and have it that way. And then you're going to take a teaspoon of the other and you're going to mix it in boiling water and drink it like coffee.
One day we will get
one day. Listen, I feel like we hit Bovril pretty hard for about 4 episodes there. I think the world could use a Bovril break. So we don't have to do it tomorrow. Yeah.
I just like that message I got on Amazon. Your package was left in the mail slot. What shape is that? Are you just going to tip it away?
No, I'll save it and maybe I'll try it again down the road, but we're on break. We're on break with the Bovril.
It might be a good way to heal your Bovril damage.
In what way? Like,
you had it in its worst form potentially.
Yeah,
and
potentially.
To have a nice delicious warm cup might heal the taste.
I feel like you need to try a Bovril pop.
It might melt your frozen Bovril heart.
Because I haven't had Bovril in any other form. It'd be interesting to hear from you, as someone who likes Bovril. Is it a worse version of Bovril, or do I just not like Bovril?
Well, what's your favorite food?
That's a tough. Probably chicken. I'd say a chicken dish or like a chicken parmesan.
Right. So if you had to eat like a chicken ice cube, you probably wouldn't like it. But then if you had chicken after, you'd be like, damn, chicken's good.
That's a fair comparable, but Bovril sold Bovril Pops. Like, it was a thing that they did.
That's fair.
So I don't know. I feel like when the company endorses the product in that way, it's a different comparable.
Does anybody sell chicken pops? Because if not, Uniform could get into that world. Hold on, Googling. Frozen.
I could see like a chicken noodle soup like pop type thing.
That just
want that.
pop.
What I bet you there's
Popsicle.
Lester. Like Lester makes terrible sodas. Like that's the company that does like the ranch soda. I bet you they got like a chicken soda.
Oh God, that's the ugliest thing.
What did
Post
you
it.
find?
Yeah, hold
see.
on. That's a fucking.
Oh, I hate it.
Is that just for like presentation, or is that frozen? That just looks like normal, like a
That
Kiev
just-
or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was for the audience. It's just a piece of fried chicken in the shape of a popsicle with a popsicle stick, and it's like it's fucking
I
gross.
got-
and a
I
bite
gotta-
taken out of it.
Is it weird that
Oh.
looks really good to me?
It's called
I really
chicken
wanna eat that.
popsicle nuggets. Oh my God.
I think if you remove the stick, it looks great. But I
No,
just
the
can't-
stick's great for dipping.
It's already dippable. It's breaded.
Oh my God. You know what we could call it?
What?
Pop chickles.
I hate it.
That's the best
Like, it
name
works.
ever. Pop
It
chickles. I,
works,
love
but
it.
Uniform
it.
Gavin,
popsicle.
dust off that idea. We're back to inventing frozen pop chickles. Oh my God. Inspiration has struck.
I'm going to here. This is I had a friend send me this food recently, and I think it's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. They loved it. I had a visceral reaction when I saw it. Fruit sushi. Horrendous.
that looks
You
great.
like that? You think that looks great?
What's the white stuff? Is it rice or is it fruit?
It's
What
rice.
is it?
It's rice. The white stuff
that's
is rice.
fine.
What's the green stuff?
I don't know. I still don't know. I've been
If
trying
it's
to
not
figure that out for
if
days.
it's fruit, then I'm all about that. If the
It
green
looks like
stuff
a
is
Fruit Loop.
seaweed,
You
I think
like
it's-
that? Oh, I thought
dude, I love fruit, man. What would be bad about that?
Well, some
Well, no,
sushi has fruit in it. Like you get some like mango in there sometimes, or
But it's too much
Something
in
to
the
cut
fact
it.
that it comes with like a fucking Nutella dip. Like it's just not what I want from sushi.
oh, I didn't even
guess.
see. I would eat the shit out of that. I would love that.
Guys, from what I can tell, there does not exist a frozen chicken flavored popsicle. I think the market might be wide open for us. This is exciting. This is really exciting. And to pair it with fruit sushi, although it seems like that's been done before.
Do you want to stick that in Prop F?
I want to know. I want to know what the green thing is.
Well, I've been trying to figure it out for days. I don't know. I think it
looks
kind of
like a little
looks.
fruit roll up.
It looks like a fruit roll up.
If that's a fruit roll up, sign me up.
I would prefer it without. I would prefer that as like a thinly sliced melon or something, or like cucumber or something.
Yeah, cucumber
If-
is great.
If
You
the
gotta be
rice was
great.
like coconut, then I could get on board. But the fact that it's like sushi rice,
You don't
What
like
if
the idea
the-
of rice and fruit?
I don't like. Those are all things individually I enjoy, but combined, it's fucking. I think
This
it's
would
terrible.
now this would limit your ability to eat it. It'd make it a quicker deal. But what if the rice was just like shaved ice, from
I'm all in at that point.
I'm out.
like
I'm
it's
out.
fruit and
Really?
shaved ice wrapped in I guess either a cucumber or a fruit roll up.
I'm all in. I think that
I
sounds
don't
great.
think ice to me isn't useful in the food. It's like good in a cooler if I'm keeping shit cold that's liquid. I don't want to
Oh.
eat ice. I don't want ice
What
in my
about a
drink.
snow cone?
A snow
No.
cone is so good.
No, get out of here.
Oh
Get-
my God.
you're-
When was the last time you had a snow cone?
Probably with you.
I could just see Gavin in a park eating a fucking hot chicken popsicle, be like, "Get out of here!" to all the snow cone people. You monster.
We're going to Bahama Bucks soon, and you're gonna get a snow cone, and you're gonna fucking like it, or else.
What's that little place that's on 51st Street?
Like a snow cone place?
Yeah.
Is it still there?
I
Casey's, New Orleans
Yeah.
snow cones. Yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, it's fine.
that place is okay. There's better places to go.
I
I mean,
like
that place
ice
is like an
cream.
Austin institution. But no, we're gonna go to Bahama Bucks. We're gonna go to the suburbs to a chain and get you some snow cones. You want nerd flavored snow cones? They got nerd. They got a Red Bull
Oh,
snow
fuck.
cone they just came out with. I saw.
God damn it!
Shit.
Emily's
I
on the
wanna
mailing
go.
list. Yeah,
come-
we've been going like
Come
once
to
a week.
America.
The next time I'm in Austin, I want a snow cone. I fucking love snow cones.
Snow cones
I
are
can't-
the best.
They're incredible.
It hurts me that Gavin doesn't like. Ugh,
No, I've just never had a good one. Give me a good one.
you've never had a good one.
I've never
agree
had
with
one that was like anything to write home about.
Look at what's going on that website.
Okay, so
Tell me you don't want. Look at that menu. Oh, it's more than shaved ice. It's a menu.
shaved ice and snow cones.
Oh, so is this different to like the one I've had was just like ice and then they drizzle a bit of syrup or something in it.
I think that's the heart of it. Still,
That's the heart
It's
of
just
it.
this
Yeah,
looks
there's like
fancier.
million.
You end up
different
with
ways
like
you can do it.
bits of ice down the side that never had the flavor touch it, and it's just
That's just
oh my
part
God.
of the experience.
No, it's a
man.
shit experience.
No, it's a top tier experience. I have a new candy. I wasn't sure if I was going to bring this up. I don't know if it's better
Go
than the
on.
gummy nerds, but I just recently discovered that there are Skittle gummies. The Skittle Wildberry gummies, very good.
Oh
Very much
yeah,
enjoyed those.
yeah, dude. I've had those.
I just discovered them recently. I was like, these are fucking great. I got to talk about these gummies. I really
Yeah,
like
no, you're dead on with those wildberry specifically. Yeah, those are really
Wildberry
good.
specifically, very good. I don't really care for the Wildberry Skittle, but the
Mhm.
gummy, fantastic.
Yeah,
I can't believe you don't like snow cones.
I stand that. He's fucking British. He doesn't like anything cold in your mouth.
You know
I
what?
just don't want ice in my mouth.
I don't know why, but a hot chicken popsicle does feel very British to me. I can see that. I don't know why, but there's
Please
something
call
very
it.
British.
Please call it by its official uniform name, the popsicle.
The popsicle.
We need
Yeah,
to
I
seed
think-
it as such. We need to
think-
get that name out there.
Being from England, I like the idea of stuff that keeps me warm, and that just looks like a hearty meal on a stick.
This dude would rather eat warm beef juice than a nice cold banana and black cherry snow cone on a hot day. He'd be like, "No, I'm gonna dip my popsicle in my Bovril and soak that up."
You are 100% correct.
What would you put on a popsicle? Do you dip? Do you cover it? What is your like ketchup? Do you just go ketchup?
I just go ketchup. What do you put well, this goes back to what do you use for your chicken nuggets? I use ketchup. I could do barbecue sauce, but it's hard to beat ketchup.
I feel like barbecue sauce would be good.
Yeah, I think I could try barbecue sauce.
I wish more places made tempura. Like that should be, it's like you deep fry it, right? Like that should be something that's more available. I hate that you have to, it's limited to essentially Japanese places. Like I want to be able to go to McDonald's and get tempura.
I want someone to make me fruit sushi with frozen ice now, like shaved ice. I'm pretty sure that doesn't exist in the world, but now I'm thinking about it.
That's going to be a nightmare because it's going
to melt.
If it melts, then you've got nothing to eat. It's just going to spread out in the...
Well, the way it works, right, is the way it would work. I went to our favorite restaurant last night, Gav, the one that, you and I, and we went to recently together. And, for dessert, they give you like, for instance, last night, they usually give you this like shaved ice with a little bit of creme fraiche, which I could take or leave, and then pomegranate. But they've changed it now, so it's strawberry. So it's like strawberry shaved ice with little bits of strawberry and then creme fraiche. And it was so good, but it's like you get like, it's like a little digestif, right? Like you get it like right at the end of the meal. It's basically 2 bites and you're done. I think that the presentation would have to be similar. You would get like just 1 little sushi roll or 2 little sushi rolls. And then, not meant to stick around, meant to just be like a little.
I feel like those little bowls you get there, it's like 1 grain size up from a sorbet. It's like somewhere in between a snow cone and a sorbet.
Sorbet is great. Big fan of a sorbet.
Oh yeah, I absolutely love. I'll take just about anything cold.
Yeah,
I think it's the difference between like Gavin grew up in the cold and dreary, wet, gray England, and then I grew up in hot, sticky Alabama on the ocean, and so it was just like 100% humidity and heat all day, every day of my life. So I was looking for any excuse to put something cold in my mouth.
Yeah, makes total sense.
Yeah.
Bye.
What?
Okay, he's saying bye.
No, it's just because it's 4.
Oh. I guess we should wrap up.
We don't want to keep you, Gavin. There you have it. Gavin's done. He's had enough of this podcast.
I was just doing Eric's job. He's not here, so he doesn't yell at us.
Hopefully he'll see fit to show up and deign us with another hour of his presence next week on episode 104. We sure do appreciate it. I could have talked to you for hours, audience, as I know Andrew could as well.
Yeah,
but other people intervened, and you have to be respectful to the worst of us, honestly. So there you have it. Episode 103 in the books. Like and subscribe or whatever. Love you. Bye.
Hey guys, regular fan Jack here with a look at next week's episode of Face. Let's talk Freddy vs. Jason. Annual Pass has the best-selling Face shirt. Alexa is a religious figure. Gavin can't get over the overkill. This will be a November to remember. Have we discovered the previously on guy? And once again, Andrew does not eat the pencil. All that and more on next week's episode of Face.